Assalamualaikum and very good day to all. My name is Nur Farhan. I'm from Universiti Teknologi of Malaysia. Today I would like to present rise in microplastic pollution due to COVID-19 pandemic a review. As for introduction, uh, during the COVID-19 outbreak which hit countries worldwide, making most of the countries in lockdown, the situation deteriorated the social, economics and health system in all countries involved. Aside from that, the lockdown rules force people to stay at home and change their norms. People are also obliged to use personal protection equipment such as face masks for self-protection from the virus to avoid infection. The lifestyle of 24 hours at home has further changed consumer practice to use single-use plastic for food deliveries or shopping packaging, and this new lifestyle increased the plastic demand as plastic protection, thus resulting the rise of plastic waste, where the consequence of the rise is still remain unknown since there is still pandemic here today. For the methodology, the initial step to present the issues of microplastic due to COVID-19 pandemic was analyzing the related paper and connect any identified relationship between microplastic and COVID-19 pandemic. Keywords such as search engine including Google Scholar and Google were utilized by limiting years from 2019 to 2021, and keywords such as microplastic, plastic, COVID-19, pandemic, face masks, and single-use plastic were used in this process, which resulting in the identification of 571 articles. However, only 121 articles remain after the screening process, including news article, organizational report, which total of 70% articles related to microplastic pollution was analyzed. For the surge of plastic during COVID-19, as a result in the current pandemic, the demand of plastic products, notably in medical and packaging supplies, has skyrocketed and increased the plastic waste. This attribute to increase in consumer demand due to the extensive utilization of online purchasing and food delivery service, as well as the cleanliness in the other self-defense equipment. Here we compare the PPE used in Malaysia and China respectively. The demand for the face mask saw up to 190 and 60 million in February 2020 in China, with the population at 1.4 billion people. Meanwhile, in 65 billion demand for medical gloves was requested, with estimates predicting at 12.5% growth in 2020 in the same country. As February 2020, China's daily surgical mask output had climbed to 14.8 million by February 2020. For plastic packaging, there is no data for China. Meanwhile, in Malaysia, like other countries, which has been locked down since March 18 in 2020, has adopted the same new norm. Malaysians also began wearing double surgical face masks as an extra layer of protection in May 20 and 21, which doubling the amount of plastic used. Previously, monthly demands for 89 million, 76 million, and 1.6 million respectively for face mask, glove, and protective goggle also reported in March 2020. As a result, over 200 billion face masks and gloves are estimated to enter our environment in each month. Next, this is the types of plastic polymer used. The PPE is primarily composed of single-use plastic, known as SUP, which have decreased contamination and illness transmission. SUPs are made such as from thermoplastic such as polyethylene terephthalate, polyethylene, polystyrene and polypropylene, and thermosets such as polyurethane uh, or urea formaldehyde resin. Plastic resin also used in SUP goods, which produce 26% in Northeast Asian countries. An example for this, polypropylene, which is comparable surfactant to the most popular raw material used to create N95 mask as surgical mask, where additionally the surgical N95 face mask weigh 3.5 to 4.5 gram and 9.0 gram to 18.14 gram respectively, which used in the face mask production. While for plastic packaging, usually they use polyethylene, whether HDPE or LDPE. In here, plastic during COVID is act as an protector. Since healthcare workers use PPE alone or in combination, and each PPE has specific use for infection protection, gloves and gowns, for example, worn as part of normal precaution of contact when handling potential infectious object or contaminated surface. Similar to the face mask and glove, which is as shown here, becoming normal to use in everyday life. During the epidemic, plastic made a significant contribution to the healthcare industry and community health protection. In addition to the nationwide lockdown, social isolation, and travel and public gathering restriction, the regular use of hand sanitizer and wearing PPE also to avoid virus contamination and that further combat the COVID-19 spread. However, plastic also become polluted during the COVID-19 pandemic. Since COVID-19, the contamination through reusable plastic items. Hence, during pandemic, people only use single-use supply because because the virus COVID-19 was to blame, since it could stay on plastic surface for a long time or several days. Thus, if solid garbage is not correctly managed, plastic products such as SUP for PPE or packaging could jeopardize environmental health. Looking at the global scale of single plastic consumption, the water bodies will be more likely to expose to plastic contamination as a result of this plastic pandemic situation. The plastic waste from daily face masks or face shield usage was not well managed and will end up in our ecosystem plastic as plastic and eventually will become microplastic. Uh, However, the process of plastic to become microplastic is also takes a lot of time to degrade. In the meantime, the improper plastic waste are also harmful to animals exposed. For example, macaques try to eat face masks left behind the passerby in Genting Sepah, as shown in the slide. Then the gull caught in PPE face mask in Cansford, as reported by BBC in 2020. A perch, this is perch that trapped in the discarded glove that was found during kennel cleaning in Netherlands, based on The Guardian in 2020. And next is the incident by the robin wrapped in the face mask in April 2021. However, we predict that microplastic during COVID-19 becoming microplastic. How plastic becoming microplastic? The mechanical character of plastic varies depending on their molecular weight. Thus, the degree of deficiency will radically weaken the material. Once the plastic was littered or becoming waste, it will continue to degradation process and the fragmented of plastic waste becoming microplastic and resulting in ingestion by fish or other organism. As for the conclusion, the issue in here is how we manage microplastic in general household, because in hospital or medical line, there is a specific specific agencies uh, that will manage the waste, but in household there is no specific agency that will manage the waste, especially the waste with COVID-19 patient that for people in mandatory quarantine. Where the plastic pollution not is generally is a issue in Malaysia, including environmental pollution control, factories operating with no authorization. Uh, since the use and mismanage of PPE in COVID pandemic is contributing to the rise of plastic pollution, and PPE is most likely the position to become normal plastic trash item with no agency specifically manage this. Furthermore, single-use disposable plastic also identified as a significant contributor to microplastic litter in the environment. Uh, so this issue should be highlighted uh, with the specific solution. This figure show that the system proposed by NIM et al. In 2020 to properly for specific flow for management of plastic waste during COVID-19. Firstly, by segregation from home, systematic scheduling until the waste managed properly, whether end up in landfill or incinerator. However, this system required genuine commitment to implement the essential reform to decrease plastic and preserve the environment. That's all for today. I end with thank you.